We have to be in step, mind, body, soul. These are the things that are going to allow you to upgrade with the universe. What does that actually do to us? How does it affect our daily life? Because nothing's more annoying than when you're listening to a spiritual podcast and they're talking about all these things happening and you're like, yeah, but what do I do with that? We want to understand what's happening and we want to talk about it so that we can take advantage or grow. You're being tuned, upgraded, aligned for this time, for this shift, for this exciting movement in the cosmos. Giant companies are hoarding all the money and the one percenters, etc. And the money is the trickery. Look over here at how many people are poor, but nobody noticed that we are harvesting energy. If you don't stop to question what you are believing or what you are following, where does the growth happen? Everything is connected. Energy, science, quantum physics. This beautiful practice of being rooted in the frequency of love, light, and unity. We are inviting the collective consciousness to awaken and ascend. Welcome to Rooted Frequency. I'm Tiffany Haney, and I want to begin with an invitation, not just to listen, feel it. Because the things we talk about in spirituality are things that we feel deep in our soul, deep in our bones. Have you noticed that lately reality feels different? Maybe your body feels different. Maybe your dreams feel more vivid than usual. If you're sensing a shift that you can't quite put into words, you're not imagining it. The universe is moving. The very fabric of existence is vibrating faster. Humanity itself is being swept into a great recalibration. And it basically demands participation. So the question becomes, surrender to these upgrades or resist? Then let ourselves be dragged down. Today we're going to dive into that mystery together and explore what it means when we say the universe is in motion, why time is bending, why your body feels like it's buzzing with codes you can't quite understand, the ways this movement is upgrading us, mind, body, and soul, and what it means for the deeper battle of light and dark that are playing out in the unseen within our very vessels. Because this isn't just a theory. Your presence, your awareness, your embodiment matters more than ever. The universe is not static. Nothing in creation is frozen. Every atom, every particle, every star system, even every thought carries frequency. It's all vibrating. And right now, those vibrations aren't just shifting, they are accelerating. We are living in a time where reality itself feels like it's moving faster. More and more solar flares in the news, and they're not just astronomical events happening far away from us. They're affecting us here and now. When these solar waves hit the Earth's magnetic field, they ripple through the air and into our bodies. People experience them as anxiety, insomnia, bursts of restlessness, or sparks of energy. It's like the sun is sending software updates into our nervous system, whether we want them or not. And then there's the Schumann resonance. For decades, it held steady at around 7.83 hertz. But lately, scientists have recorded dramatic spikes, sudden high-frequency surges. You can imagine listening to a song where the bass line suddenly jumps an octave. Everything in that song feels different. That's what the earth is doing. The same song, but different. We all keep saying that. Things are the same, but they're so different. Because we've jumped. And because we're a part of the earth, we feel it. Our sleep patterns are changing. Our dreams intensify. Time itself feels strange. Think about how it feels when your phone glitches or lags. One moment the screen freezes and it jumps ahead as if it's trying to catch up. Doesn't that kind of feel like time right now? Like reality itself is buffering, skipping. What if this is all not random? What if the frequency spikes and time warps are signs that we are inside something larger? A simulation, a cosmic program. In a video game, when the system updates or the frame rate shifts, the player notices glitches. That's when you have those strange jumps in time, anomalies. What if these distortion in times aren't exactly that, but it's moments where our universal system is recoding? I know a lot of people find that idea unsettling, but to me, it opens up the door for something very exciting. Because if reality is like a simulation, it means that we are both the characters and the co-creators. It means that there's a code that responds to our vibration, our choices, our attention. And if the universe is recalibrating, then maybe it's upgrading not only itself, but us too. Pulling humanity into a new level of consciousness. Are you noticing glitches? Do you see the ways time bends? That energy fluctuates, that you have surges, moments. And if you have noticed these things, are you resisting them? Are you acknowledging them? Are you asking yourself what they are doing to you? We have to be in step, mind, body, soul. So that's why we're talking about this today. These are the things that are going to allow you to upgrade with the universe. And there's a very good chance that it feels like chaos right now. But that's the sign that we're shifting into its next version. Let's really look at this idea that the universe is moving. If the vibration of creation itself is quickening, what does that actually do to us? How, as a human being, does it affect our daily life? Because nothing's more annoying than when you're listening to a spiritual podcast and they're talking about all these things happening and you're like, yeah, but what do I do with that? How does that affect me? How can I take advantage of that? We want to understand what's happening and we want to talk about it so that we can take advantage or grow with these things. This idea of frequency upgrades, it's what a lot of people may say are downloads, or that's maybe a type of frequency upgrade. Some people call them recalibrations. You've heard ascension symptoms, activations, but no matter what the name, we are describing the same thing. Our bodies, minds, and spirits are adjusting to meet the rising resonance of the universe. So let's talk about a few things and see if any resonate. Maybe some physical recalibrations you may have experienced: ringing in the ears, buzzing or vibrating sensations within your body, sudden headaches or pressure around your third eye or your crown chakra. Maybe you're waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning wide awake, and then you're exhausted. These are common signs that your nervous system and your cellular body are syncing up to a higher frequency. Also consider the emotional impact that this is going to have. The purpose being emotional clearing. Sometimes the upgrades need to bring up old wounds to the surface. Maybe you're crying out of nowhere, or just you were having a good day and then suddenly one thing happens and you feel bottom of the barrel. Or maybe you're feeling emotions for things that you thought you had already processed, and you're really worried that you're regressing. But it isn't regression. This is your body and soul clearing out density that can't come with you into the higher vibration. We have to create space. When everything starts vibrating faster, that pulse outward is bigger. It's going to need more space. Otherwise, if you think about like sound bowls when you're at a sound bath, and when the bowls are too close together and you start to get louder with that bowl, it can either, if you have enough space, affect the other bowls, which has this beautiful pattern of them all vibrating together, or if they're too close together, you're going to get feedback. You're going to get weird noises. It doesn't sound good because the sound is butting up against one another. That vibration is butting up against one another. So we have to make space within the body, and our emotions, our trauma holds space. There's also a spiritual activation going on. People are experiencing heightened intuition, very vivid dreams, premonitions, or moments where you just know something without understanding how you know. These flashes of clarity are part of your spiritual senses being tuned. Kind of like a radio dial, tuning for you to catch a clearer signal. Because as the universe's signal or station changes, we have to retune in order to be a part of that channel. There's also shifts in the body's needs. Maybe you've noticed that you can't tolerate certain foods anymore. You're craving cleaner water, fresher foods, more rest. It's as though your body is saying, I need to operate differently now. I can't run on the same fuel I used to. And it can be confusing if you don't understand what's happening. But I want you to hear this clearly. It's not random. It's not, again, going backwards. You aren't regressing. It's not weakness. It's calibration. We have to think of our bodies like musical instruments. Every so often, it needs to be tuned. Well, right now, the orchestra is the universe itself, and it's raising its pitch. So our strings are being tightened, adjusted, tuned, so we can play our part in the cosmic song. Not everyone is going to experience these upgrades the same way. Some people are going to feel them very intensely. Just like when we have those spikes in the Schumann resonance, some people are affected more than others. Some people can glide through them gently without noticing. Why? Well, some people are resisting. Others are surrendering. When we resist, we feel the friction, the fatigue, the frustration, the anxiety. When we allow, we often feel a strange sense of flow. Yes, it's still intense. We may still need that extra rest or extra food or more water, but it carries us rather than drags us. We want to feel a sense of light, of release as we go through this calibration. We don't want to feel heavier. So if you've been feeling off lately, if your body and emotions are unpredictable, you are tuning to match the vibration of the universe. Take a deep breath And when you do so, feel your own frequency settle. What feels like chaos in the calibration? What feels like breakdown in the breakthrough? You're being tuned, upgraded, aligned for this time, for this shift, for this exciting movement in the cosmos. But this isn't the only thing that we need to discuss. We need to also discuss the ongoing battle between light and dark. It always comes back to balance and yin-yang and light and dark, right? There's a bigger picture here. The shifts aren't happening in isolation. They're happening during a time of deep, ancient tension, a battle between light and dark. The battle has always been here. We find it in tradition, mythology, sacred texts, the war between the gods and the titans, heaven and hell, shadow and illumination. And while people often imagine it as something happening out there, away from you, angels and demons fighting somewhere else above us or below us, the truth is the battle is happening here, in our world, and even inside of us. Light is consciousness. It's awareness, love, authenticity, truth. It is when your soul is fully embodied in your body and you're aligned with your highest frequency. Darkness? Well, darkness is disconnection, fear, manipulation, illusion. What we see certain groups trying to instill in order to control us, to insert darkness and thus control. Because what ends up seeping in is that we abandon ourselves. We try to escape. And when our soul steps out, even for a moment, it leaves our vessel vulnerable. I'm aware that this may sound unsettling to some, or even ludicrous to others. But it's important to understand. When the body is not fully inhabited by your soul, it becomes a vessel, an empty vessel. Other energies, lower, denser, darker energies, can influence this vessel or even inhabit. That's why we talk a lot about embodiment. An embodiment is not just a spiritual buzzword. It's literally your greatest protection. When your soul is seated and grounded and rooted in your body, nothing else can take that space. This is our temple, our home. And if you leave the front door open and the lights off, anybody can wander in. But if you are home, present, lights glowing, and your space is filled with warmth, there's no room for intrusion. Right now, at this moment, all around us, the battle has intensified. Because as the frequency rises, shadow gets more and more exposed. You can imagine it like turning up a light in a dim room. Suddenly you're seeing dust and cobwebs and all the things that were hidden in darkness. And that's why there's so much chaos. People don't like shadows. People don't like surprises. These shadows in society are coming to the surface. And it's not because the dark is winning. It's because the light is revealing what's been there all along. But the dark doesn't go quietly. It resists. It manipulates. It whispers, lies to us. You're not enough. Stay in fear. Disconnect from your soul. It's too much. I need to cope. If I don't want to feel so hard. And when you check out, you're doing exactly what they want. They're not just external forces, they're thought forms, programs, energies that keep us fragmented. But every time you choose presence, every time you choose to nurture your soul, to listen to a spiritual podcast, to commune with spiritual people, like-minded people, to have a spiritual conversation. Every time you choose to stay within your soul, you're feeding light. You are not powerless in the battle. Your embodiment is the battlefield. So make sure that you are stopping and asking yourself, are you in your body right now? Do you feel that your soul is rooted? Are you allowing yourself to drift into autopilot too much, where you're disconnected, distracted, empty? Because this is the work that we need to be doing right now. We're not just passive bystanders watching the universe shift. We are active participants in a battle for consciousness. And make no mistake, it is not about fear. It's about awareness. And sometimes we need to be brave to allow ourselves to be aware. The dark thrives on fear, but light thrives on embodiment, on love, on presence. So every moment you breathe deeply into your body, every moment you choose honesty over illusion, and every time you choose connection instead of division, you strengthen the light within you. And therefore, within the entire collective. You are a part of the battle whether you want to be or not. The battle is not outside of you. It's being fought through you. And you are here at this time in human history because your soul was ready to be a part of it. You chose it. So yeah, we are in the middle of a battle between light and dark. But in order to really understand what's happening, we have to pan out a little further. I don't know if you heard scratching outside the door for a while because I have my headphones on, but I did hear some whining from this little dude, Mr. Leo. You can definitely hear him. And I'm sorry, but I don't have the heart to throw him outside the door and close it. So the rest of the podcast, probably, is going to be accompanied by purring, brought to you by Leo. And if that bothers you, I apologize. I don't know, but he's so hairy, like hair's flying everywhere. Isn't it kind of meditative with the purring? Did you know that when cats purr, that they are mimicking the same frequency as a baby crying, and that frequency gets our attention? So the purring is meant to get our attention, but it's obviously more soothing than a baby crying. So just be thankful I don't have a baby crying in the background. Okay? I'm thankful for that too. Okay, you can sit here, but I can't pet you because hair's flying everywhere and it's itching my face. Okay? No, we're not playing with that. Just lay down. You have to just chill, okay? Where were we? So we've just talked about the universe moving, how our bodies are recalibrating to allow us to transcend with the universe, and how we're in the middle of a battle between light and dark. But to really understand what's happening, we have to really look at how we're in this battle between light and dark. The real war is consciousness itself. If reality is vibrational, then the most valuable resource is existence. Oh my gosh, That stinks so bad. Leo let out a bunka. Oh, I think he's embarrassed. But not embarrassed enough to leave the room. He goes, Mom, don't talk about my bunkas. Okay. I want you to think about our reality as vibrational and what is valuable within a reality of vibration. That it's not money, gold, land, it's attention. Whoever controls your attention, whoever controls the vibration. Because whoever controls the vibration controls your reality, what you create, what you manifest, and how you live. And in the world today, attention is constantly being fought for, being hijacked. Let's take social media. It is constantly pouring out things that anger us and things that make us want to keep scrolling. So it's like this bounce back and forth between outrage and dopamine hits. The news cycles engineered to keep us in a state of fear. Even entertainment often functions as a type of hypnosis to keep us sedated, passive, scrolling, consuming. Our very awareness is the currency. That's what I want you to think about. We know all these giant companies that are hoarding all the money and the one percenters, et cetera, et cetera. And the money is the trickery. Look over here at how many people are poor, but nobody notice that we are harvesting energy, trying to constantly take your awareness, leaving you as empty vessels, harvesting your light. It's very much like the movie Monsters, Inc. If you've seen that or you have kids, they're harvesting fear in the beginning, right? And that's what's powering their entire city. And the crazy thing is, this is really what's happening. We know light is more powerful than darkness. So by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, laughter provides more energy for the city to be powered upon. And they didn't need to be scaring these kids the whole time. They're teaching us, even in kids' movies, what's happening. They have to tell us. It's a rule of the universe. This energy is actually being harvested. And if we lean into the simulation lens, it's almost as if we're inside a program and our consciousness is the electricity running it. Yeah, think about it. Every time you give your attention to fear, outrage, or illusion, you're not just distracted. You're literally fueling that part of the code, strengthening that code in place of simulation. And the tricky thing is, not everything that looks like light is truly light. We're in a realm of false light, spiritual bypassing. These programs that are designed to look benevolent. It speaks to love and positivity, but there's no depth, no exploration of the soul. Unwavering faith is great on the surface. But if you don't stop to question what you are believing or what you are following, where does the growth happen? Where's the mindfulness? Where's your attention at? We need to be going at things more than stay positive, stay high vibe, everything's fine. If underneath you're not actually healing, you're not embodying, it's like junk code. Flashy, distracting, but not nourishing. Spiritual bypassing is another glitch in the system. When people use spirituality as an escape, affirming without integrating, meditating without embodying, avoiding the shadow instead of facing it. And when you think about it from a simulation perspective, bypassing keeps you logged into a shallow version of the program. You're on demo mode. You're not stepping into full sovereignty. Darkness, even manipulation, might serve a role in the simulation. What if these hijackings of consciousness aren't just malicious? What if they're tests? Built-in resistance coded into the system to strengthen us. I mean, think about your own life. The moments when you've really been cracked open. Betrayal, loss, heartbreak, devastation. Those moments are what have forced you to wake up, to question, to see differently, to embody more deeply. What if the so-called contracts of darkness are part of the architecture of this place? Like a video game where the villains and obstacles aren't glitches, they're part of the design that pushes you to level up. Pulling all of that together, the hijacking of consciousness is real. Your attention is the code. False light and bypassing are programs that are designed to keep you distracted, to keep you in that demo mode, the shallow simulation. And then the darkness itself may sometimes be the resistance that we agreed to. We signed a soul contract. We agreed to face these things. The challenge is written into the script that forces us to embody more fully. Which leaves us with the question, are you writing your own code? Or are you letting the program write it for you? Because when you reclaim your attention, when you see through false light, when you're embracing even the dark as a catalyst, the simulation stops running you, and you begin to run the simulation. And within this simulation, our vessels can be hijacked. Our bodies are not just these corpses walking around made of flesh, bone. They're sacred technology, the most advanced interface in this reality. Your soul chose this vessel, not by accident, but with precision. The body is the anchor point, the grounding wire, a portal between source and earth. And yet right now we're seeing a massive acceleration of embodiment of a different type. Transhumanism. On the surface, it looks like progress. We're hearing about these neural implants that are meant to extend life or expand thought, or microchips that can be implanted to know what's going on with your health or for safety. AI systems promising to merge with biology, and this is going to make us smarter, faster, more efficient. It's being framed as evolution. But we have to ask ourselves, evolution into what? Because the unsettling fact is that transhumanism is not evolution at all? What if it's an attempt to rewrite the code of the simulation itself, to sever the soul from the body and replace organic consciousness with artificial? The transhumanism agenda is underneath it all, basically saying you aren't enough, your body is flawed, your biology is outdated, we need to upgrade you. But the irony is, your body is already the most advanced piece of technology in existence. Every single cell within you holds light codes. Every organ is designed to tune with the Earth's frequency. Your DNA is a cosmic antenna, wired to both receive and transmit information. So what happens if we allow that sacred coding to be rewritten? If your DNA is bypassed by synthetic programs? What if your intuition is replaced with algorithm? Or our body's organic rhythms overridden by machines? It's not just a technological shift. It's hijacking. Not of your attention, but of your incarnation. Think about that. If we signed soul contracts to come here for a specific purpose, to learn certain things, to face certain obstacles, and in comes a recalibration of our code. Our very choice of incarnating on this planet to do something, it is being hijacked. And if we look at it again through that simulation lens, doesn't it look like it's a new kind of patch? A foreign piece of code being written into the program? One that doesn't serve the soul, but serves more as control? The way I see it, we're being presented with two paths. Path one is embodiment, staying in our sacred vessels, honoring this temple with breath, grounding, presence, clean water, real food, and ritual. Seeing your body not as something to escape, but as the most powerful interface with Source. Path two, transhumanism. Seeing the body as flawed, replaceable, in need of constant external upgrades. Handing your sovereignty to the machine. Now, don't misunderstand me. Not all technology is darkness. Technology can be used in a very progressive and light way, like it first was in Atlantis. Tools can be beautiful when they serve consciousness, but when technology becomes a substitute for soul, when technology is replacing presence instead of supporting it, that is when it becomes dangerous. Because embodiment is the greatest act of resistance in this simulation. For you to stand there in presence and say, this vessel is mine, my soul chose it, and no machine, no false program, no hijack will overwrite this code. That's sovereignty. Maybe the simulation itself is testing us. Maybe it's testing us and asking, will you give away your vessel to artificial programs? Or are you going to anchor your soul so deeply into this body that no patch, no virus, no hijack can override it? And this choice may not look like a war to you. And it is a choice becoming more human, fully soul embodied in your sacred vessel, or less human, merging into a system that cannot carry light. Think about that. This system won't be able to hold frequency upgrades, to hold light. So then what is it holding? We were born for embodiment. When you inhabit yourself fully, you anchor heaven into earth through your body. So really, you're not just resisting the hijack, you're rewriting that simulation itself. These are some big concepts that I'm leaving you to think about. And as we close our chat today, I really want you to sit with the idea of the universe quickening vibrations, and that with every pulse, every spike, every shift, you're being invited into a choice between presence and absence, love and fear, faith and fear. Most importantly, a choice between embodiment and disconnection. These battles we've talked about today, the hijacking of consciousness, the seduction of false light, the soul contracts of darkness, and this push towards transhumanism, they're not abstract. The soul contracts of darkness, the push towards transhumanism, they are not abstract. They are happening right here, inside you, every single day. So, whose hands are on the steering wheel of your vessel? Because if you're not in your body, if your soul has stepped out, your consciousness has stepped out, you're not fully aware, you're not present. You know what? Someone or something else will step in. So you need to be here, fully here, soul and body in union, where nothing can hijack that, where nothing can override your beautiful frequency. Maybe the real evolution is that we have to resist. A revolution of thought, of soul, of pattern. Maybe that's the real revolution. The real act of resistance. The real healing of our planet. Maybe it's simple. You choose to inhabit yourself. What if the great war of our time is not about who wins territory? Not about who controls the money, and not about who builds the strongest machine, but about who stays home in their body. What if the most powerful thing you could ever do is to sit inside your soul, anchor it, and refuse to abandon it? When we do this, we are unshakable. Know that you are sovereign, you are the light embodied, and the universe itself is moving with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that Leo's purring was not too annoying when I play this back, and that you can fully be present in this episode and just embrace the chaos of the moment, like I did, allowing Leo to be with us. I love you all. Thank you for listening. Please, please like and subscribe if you are not already subscribed. I would love it also if you could hit the share button. Also, make sure you have that little bell pressed so that you are alerted every time we have a new episode, because YouTube cares about how many people who are subscribed come right away to view your episode. And we are trying to grow. We are trying to spread the word. And if you want to be a part of the word, join Patreon. I'd love to have you. We need some new voices. My cat is so smelly right now. I don't know what he ate. Oh, it's bad. Thank you again. I love you all. Bye. Everything is connected. Energy, science, quantum physics.